All right, good afternoon, class. It's good to be with you. I'm making a special recording here. This is actually a recording for both my face-to-face and my fully online American history courses, History 148. And in this screencast, I'm hoping to walk you through the steps you'll want to take to complete the special research project that I am assigning both for the first half of the course, and then later in the course, I will assign essentially the same project, just for a different period of the class that we're covering in the second half of our quarter together in History 148. So here we are. I've intentionally chosen to start on the Google page because I want to help you find something that's going to be important. So to really kick off your interaction with this, I'm going to ask you to go into the Adobe Creative Cloud and search, and then you'll see here, if you click on just the general Creative Cloud web page, now you'll see I'm going up to here to this grid because I want to go to Adobe Express. And when I go to Adobe Express, for you, you're going to want to click on this plus button and then scroll down to Web Page. These first steps that I walked you through, go back and look at them again if you need to, but they are very important because they are going to highlight what you need to be successful in getting underway with this project. Now, having done all that, I'm going to close out of here because you will find yourself through the instructions that I have elsewhere in the screencast. You'll know what to do from this point forward. But I wanted you to have that background so you know how to sort of get on board, so to speak. And let me do this. I'm going to go back now. Here we are on our Canvas page. And I'm doing this with my face-to-face class, but really it's going to look quite similar for my fully online class as well. But you're going to want to scroll down and find after chapter 22. Oh boy, let's see here. I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to leave student view because I think I failed to publish the part that I wanted. Yeah, here we go. This, now that it's published, now I can go back and I should be able to go into student view, which is how you will see this. And if I scroll down now, I will see the Microcosm Project. And that's how I want this to look. So we click on the Microcosm Project. This is in search of modern America. And interestingly, well, I don't know if it's that interesting, but I have put together an Adobe Express presentation to show you how to do your Adobe Express web page presentation that is sort of the heart of this assignment. So this link to the project description, again in Adobe Express web page format, will live here. It will be available to you for reference as you go back through and put together your own Adobe Express web page presentation. And I call this assignment the Microcosm Project because part of my campaign, if you will, as an educator, is that I really want to instill and give my students opportunities to demonstrate their creative thinking and their critical thinking. And this project is designed to be both interesting and creative, but also to ask you to delve or dive in a little deeper and look at America through a lens that maybe not everyone would. This is your chance to put your sort of own individual stamp on the learning that we're having together. I call this the Microcosm Project, and I'm going to explain my terms in just a moment, but I want to start by highlighting this background. And to me, this is a pretty fitting image of a microcosm, because if you look at this design in the background at the top of our project description, you'll notice that this design has triangles, and then it has these like bridges that go around them, and then those bridges lead up to this like star-shaped center. But if you zoom out, you'll notice that this pattern just repeats, right? So we have a close, we're focusing close on this central pattern, but if we zoom out, we'll see that this pattern is repeated here, it's repeated here, it's repeated out here. And to me, that's a fitting model of a microcosm, because what a microcosm is, and let's get into our terminology here. A microcosm okay. It's funny. I haven't defined these terms for you. Well, let me just do it this way, and I will try to go back and include the definition of microcosm and essence within this project. It should be there once this posts a little later today. But a microcosm, if you think of that word, it means micro, very small, and cosm, world. So microcosm sort of means little world. And what a microcosm is for me, it's a small glimpse of something, a small portion of a much larger thing. But that small glimpse tells you an awful lot about the larger object. Okay? Now, there are countless examples of microcosms. I've given you this fractal drawing here by Escher, a famous artist of fractals and microcosms. But another way to think about microcosms, for example, the sport of football, and I'm talking about American football here, could be used as a microcosm of America. It's a small part of America, but if we look at football and we look at the typical football team and the different positions that players on a football team play, that football team can start to represent America as a whole pretty well, right? America has kind of celebrities and professionals who are kind of like the quarterbacks and maybe the running backs and receivers, the people who tend to get a lot of attention, they tend to make more money, they maybe get more of the credit when things go well with America. But we all know that America wouldn't function very well if it didn't also have the linemen, like the offensive line and the defensive line, the folks who slug it out in the trenches, maybe the workers who work on the assembly line or in manufacturing, or the truck drivers that deliver all of the supplies and goods of our supply chain to sort of make sure everyone has what they need when they need it. In that sense, the sport of football, while being a relatively small part of America, if you look at it creatively and critically, you can use that sport to tell us a little bit more about America as a whole. That's what I'm kind of asking you to do with this project, is to find your own microcosm. And in the first half of this course, your microcosm will be about something from World War I, probably up until World War II and the early Cold War. In the second half of the course, your microcosm will likely be something from the Cold War to the end of the 20th century. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about this. Here I have a bunch of images that I just curated about kind of America and its history and even modern life. And I ask at the bottom of all these images, are there things in these photographs that maybe tell a story? Are there microcosms on display here? Do these images in some way provide a small glimpse of America that might help you capture a larger aspect? There are things like music. Here I tried to capture the Christian faith, which has had an interesting role. It has played an interesting role throughout much of American history, both at its colonial era, at its founding, I would argue in the present as well. Here we have bison and buffalo. This looks to me like it was in Yellowstone National Park. National parks are perhaps a microcosm of America. We have markets. We have young people like yourselves. Many of you yourselves. I have the lights that are the lone remnants of the once tall and proud World Trade Towers that were taken down on 9/11. Anyway, you kind of see where this is going. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into the details here because I know that you can look through this on your own and read and bring yourselves up to speed. But this next section is really important. You're choosing a microcosm that helps you present and demonstrate your grasp of something important in American history. Now, I think of the microcosm as the object, the thing that I can see. It's like the introduction that you're calling your audience's attention to. Okay, so that object or that photo or that poem or that song, whatever your microcosm is, it's really a way to sort of focus your audience's attention on what you wish to talk about, what aspect of early 20th century American history, or in your second project, later 20th century American history you wish to talk about. But I would also encourage you to attach that microcosm, that thing, if you will, to an essence of America. Now, an essence of America could be equality, it could be struggle, it could be anxiety, it could be grit and determination. There should be something about your time period that you're trying to connect your microcosm to. Okay? Women's rights might be a story of overcoming a lack of opportunity. The civil rights movement, largely of African Americans in the 50s and 60s, might be a struggle about equality, fairness, opportunity. Hopefully you're starting to see what I mean by these things that I will refer to as an essence. And essences can be positive, but they can also be negative, right? Anxiety, fear, prejudice, those would be examples of an essence that you could also explore. I think there's evidence that these maybe less celebrated essences are also a part of America's 20th century past. So what I want you to do is select a microcosm, connect it to an essence of a period of time in recent American history. Now these steps I'm not going to get too into right now. I've written them down. They are there for you, but do let me highlight a few things. I have added this go around a special library guide that our library scientists have helped put together. This is a really useful tool that you should look at more closely. It's posted on our library website that I've linked to here, but you should look at that more closely so that you can better meet the requirements of this assignment. And then you are also going to create an Adobe Express web page. Now, I started off this presentation taking you through how to find that. This link here in the instructions is a more detailed way to help you navigate how to use Adobe Express. I think it's a fascinating and useful platform. That's why I'm asking you to use it, because I want you to have this tool when you are done with this class. Now, I'm about to wrap up here, but I just want to say before I go that there is a rubric for these assignments. Okay, these assignments are 100-point assignments. This rubric will stay up. You should look at it as you always should with courses that offer rubrics, because this is how I'm going to be grading your assessment. Okay, I also promise you, and this is my last point before I call it good, I also promise you that I will post an example of a project that a student has done before, so you can kind of see some of the key elements of a well-produced project. Okay, that's what I have now. I'm also available for questions as you have them. Okay, thanks everyone. Good luck.